Welcome back. Today we're taking a close look at RailTel Corporation of India Limited, a key player in India's telecom infrastructure space.
That's right. RailTel is a Navratna public sector undertaking under the Ministry of Railways. They provide broadband telecom and multimedia networks across the country, leveraging the railway's extensive network. Think nationwide optical fiber cable networks, data centers, and various ICT services.
And they've just released their financial results. What are we looking at today?
We have their audited standalone financial results for the fourth quarter and the full financial year ended March 31, 2025. These results were approved by their Board of Directors on May 1, 2025, following a recommendation from their Audit Committee. It's important to note upfront that the detailed documents provided are primarily standalone results, so our deep dive will focus on that, though we'll keep an eye out for any consolidated context if mentioned. The auditors for these standalone results are Messrs. Lunawat and Company, Chartered Accountants.
Got it. Standalone results for Q4 and the full financial year 2025. Let's jump into the key numbers. How did RailTel perform in the last quarter, say, compared to the same time last year? Year-over-year performance for Q4?
Okay, looking at the fourth quarter of financial year 2025, on a year-over-year basis, the performance was quite strong. Revenue from operations came in at 1,308.28 crore rupees. That's a significant jump of about 57.1% compared to the 832.70 crore rupees in Q4 of the previous year.
Wow, over 50% growth in revenue year-over-year for the quarter. That's impressive. How did that translate to the bottom line? What about profit after tax or PAT?
The PAT for Q4 also showed healthy growth. It stood at 113.45 crore rupees, which is up 46.3% from the 77.53 crore rupees reported in Q4 of financial year 2024. So strong growth in both revenue and profit year-over-year.
Okay, solid year-over-year growth for the quarter. Now, how does this latest quarter stack up against the immediately preceding quarter, Q3 of financial year 2025? What does the quarter-over-quarter picture look like?
Good question. Looking quarter-over-quarter, the growth is even more pronounced. That 1,308.28 crore rupees in Q4 revenue is a massive 70.4% increase from the 767.62 crore rupees reported in Q3 of financial year 2025.
70% sequential growth? That's huge. What drove that big jump between Q3 and Q4? And did the profit keep pace quarter over quarter?
It seems so. The PAT of 113.45 crore rupees in Q4 represents a 74.4% surge compared to the 65.05 crore rupees in Q3. We'll likely see the drivers when we look at the segments, but clearly, Q4 was a very strong quarter sequentially as well.
Definitely sounds like a strong finish to the year. Let's zoom out slightly. How did the company perform over the entire financial year 2025 compared to the previous year?
For the full financial year 2025, revenue from operations reached 3,477.50 crore rupees. This is a healthy 35.4% increase compared to the 2,567.82 crore rupees in financial year 2024.
And the full year profit?
Full year PAT came in at 299.81 crore rupees, which is up 21.8% from the 246.21 crore rupees in the previous financial year. So good annual growth too, although you'll notice the profit growth percentage for the full year is lower than the revenue growth percentage.
That's an interesting point. Revenue grew over 35%, but PAT grew just under 22% for the full year. Any ideas why? Maybe higher expenses or a change in business mix? How about other income? Did that play a significant role?
That's likely due to the business mix and expenses. Total expenses for the year grew by about 37.9%, slightly outpacing revenue growth. As for other income, it was 73.54 crore rupees for the full year, up 35.3% year-over-year. In Q4 specifically, it was 20.40 crore rupees, up 6.8% year-over-year and 39.1% quarter-over-quarter. While helpful, it doesn't fully explain the difference in growth rates between the top and bottom lines for the full year.
What about the earnings per share, the EPS?
For Q4 financial year 2025, the basic and diluted EPS was 3.53 rupees, up 45.9% year-over-year from 2.42 rupees, and up 73.9% quarter-over-quarter from 2.03 rupees. For the full financial year 2025, The EPS stood at 9.34 rupees, reflecting that 21.8% growth from 7.67 rupees in the previous year.
Let's talk profitability margins. Given the PAT and revenue figures, what does the net profit margin look like?
For Q4 financial year 2025, the PAT margin was roughly 8.7%. That's slightly down from the 9.3% margin in Q4 of the previous year. Sequentially, it's also slightly lower than the Q3 margin, which was around 8.5%. For the full year financial year 2025, the PAT margin comes out to about 8.6%, which is lower than the 9.6% margin seen in financial year 2024. This ties back to that point about expenses growing slightly faster than revenue for the full year, likely impacting the overall margin profile.
Right, so margins are under a bit of pressure compared to last year, especially on an annual basis, even though absolute profits are up. Were there any exceptional items affecting the reported profit?
Yes, there were. In Q4 financial year 2025, RailTel reported an exceptional gain of 11.94 crore rupees. This compares to an exceptional gain of 12.39 crore rupees in Q4 last year, and an exceptional loss of 2.36 crore rupees in Q3 this year. For the full financial year 2025, there was a net exceptional loss of 21.72 crore rupees compared to a loss of 26.72 crore rupees booked under exceptional items in the previous financial year. The report doesn't detail what these are, but they do influence the final PBT and PAT figures.
Okay. Let's shift gears to the balance sheet. Any major changes in RailTel's financial position based on these standalone numbers as of March 31st, 2025?
The standalone balance sheet shows growth. Total assets increased to 5,161.21 crore rupees from 4,049.58 crore rupees a year ago. Total equity also grew to 1,999.62 crore rupees from 1,827.24 crore rupees. On the liabilities side, total liabilities stood at 3,161.59 crore rupees, up from 2,222.34 crore rupees last year. Key movers seem to be increases in trade receivables, other current financial assets, property, plant and equipment, and also corresponding increases in trade payables and other current financial liabilities.
What about cash flows? Did the profitability translate into strong cash generation for the year?
This is a critical area to watch. Based on the standalone cash flow statement for the full financial year 2025, net cash generated from operating activities after exceptional items was 255.34 crore rupees. Now this is significantly lower than the 556.34 crore rupees generated in the previous financial year.
A big drop in operating cash flow despite higher profits? That's concerning. Any reasons indicated? Where did the cash go?
The statement shows a much larger negative impact from changes in working capital. Specifically, a very large increase in financial current assets, like receivables and other financial assets, compared to the increase in financial current liabilities, like payables. This suggests more cash was tied up in operations. On the positive side, cash used in investing activities was much lower this year, mainly due to changes in term deposits and lower net investments in assets. Cash used in financing activities increased, driven by a higher dividend payout of 91.46 crore rupees compared to 65.79 crore rupees last year. Despite the operating cash flow drop, the net increase in cash and cash equivalents for the year was similar to last year, ending the year with 308.04 crore rupees in cash and equivalents.
Okay, that operating cash flow situation definitely needs monitoring. Let's break down the performance by business segments. RailTel mentioned two, telecom services and project work services. How did they perform individually in Q4?
This really explains the Q4 surge. The telecom services segment showed steady growth. Its Q4 revenue was 358.75 crore rupees, up 6.6% year-over-year and 6.2% quarter-over-quarter. Its profit before interest and tax, PBIT, was 84.29 crore rupees, up 11.5% year-over-year and 20.9% quarter-over-quarter.
So telecom was stable. What about project work?
That's where the fireworks were. The project work services segment reported Q4 revenue of 949.53 crore rupees. That's a massive 91.3% jump year-over-year and an incredible 121% increase quarter-over-quarter. Its PBIT was 46.56 crore rupees, up nearly 290% year-over-year and 123% quarter-over-quarter.
So the project work segment absolutely drove that huge Q4 revenue and profit growth. both sequentially and year over year. How profitable are these segments relative to each other?
There's a big difference. Telecom services is the high margin business with a PBIT margin around 23.5% in Q4. Project work services, while growing explosively, operates on much thinner margins, around 4.9% PBIT margin in Q4. However, that project margin is an improvement from previous periods.
And did this pattern hold for the full year?
Yes, largely. For the full financial year 2025, telecom services revenue grew 7.7% with a PBIT margin around 22.2%. Project work services revenue grew 62.4% for the year, but its PBIT margin was only about 4.4%. So while project work is driving massive top-line growth, its lower profitability profile explains why the overall annual PAT growth lagged behind revenue growth.
That clarifies the margin picture. So summarizing the performance, strong Q4 driven by explosive growth in project work, decent annual growth also led by projects, but with some pressure on overall margins, and a notable drop in operating cash flow generation for the year.
Precisely. The growth momentum is clearly there, especially in the projects division, but managing margins and working capital, particularly converting profits into operating cash flow, will be key things to watch.
Now let's talk about the auditors Messrs. Lunawat and Company. What did their report say about these standalone financials? Any red flags?
This is important. The auditors issued an unmodified opinion. That means, in their view, the standalone financial statements give a true and fair view and comply with the accounting standards. So, no qualifications or adverse opinions on the numbers themselves.
An unmodified opinion is good news. But were there any other comments? Emphasis of matter or key audit matters?
No emphasis of matter or specific key audit matters were highlighted beyond the standard descriptions. However, they included an other matters section, which points out a few significant things.
Okay, what are these other matters?
First, the auditors state they did not audit the financial information for 3 branches, the eastern, western, and southern regions. They relied on the reports from the branch auditors for this data. They do quantify this, mentioning these branches represent total assets of 3,386.30 crore rupees and total revenues of 2,574.77 crore rupees for the year ended March 31, 2025. That's a substantial portion of the overall business.
Relying on branch auditors is common for large companies, but good to note the scale. What else?
Second, and perhaps more significant from a governance perspective, the auditors point out non-compliance with the Companies Act 2013 and listing regulations regarding board composition. They state that as of the report date, RailTel had only one independent director on its board. The rules mandate that at least 1/3 of the directors of a listed public company should be independent.
Only one independent director? That's a significant governance gap. Anything else?
Yes, they also highlight that the company has not appointed a woman director to its board, which is also mandated by Section 149 of the Companies Act and associated rules for listed companies.
So, 2 clear instances of non-compliance with board composition requirements. How did the auditors treat these issues in their report? Did it affect their opinion?
Crucially, the auditors explicitly state that their opinion is not modified in respect of these matters. This means, while they are highlighting these governance shortcomings and the reliance on branch auditors, they do not believe these issues materially misstate the financial results themselves. It's different from, say, an accounting qualification or an adverse opinion which would cast doubt on the numbers. Here, the numbers are deemed true and fair, but significant governance compliance issues are flagged.
That's a critical distinction. The financials are clean according to the auditors, but there are clear governance concerns raised. So what's the overall outlook for RailTel based on these results and the audit report?
Disclaimer. As always, we advise investors to consult with certified financial advisors before making any investment decisions. RailTel has demonstrated strong growth, particularly in its project work segment, contributing significantly to both quarterly and annual performance. The telecom segment remains stable and highly profitable. However, investors need to consider the slightly lower overall profit margins, the significant drop in operating cash flow generation in financial year 2025, and importantly, the governance flags raised by the auditors regarding board independence and composition. While the audit opinion on the financials themselves is clean, these governance issues could be a concern for some investors and need to be addressed by the company. Future performance will likely depend on sustaining project momentum, improving project execution margins, better working capital management to boost cash flows, and rectifying the board composition issues.
Great summary. So strong operational performance, especially in Q4 led by the project work segment. But keep an eye on margins, operating cash flow, and those governance points highlighted by the auditors.
Exactly. A mixed picture with strong growth alongside areas needing attention.
Thanks for that detailed breakdown. That's all the time we have for today. Join us next time for more financial insights.